はい、ラケット貼りました。結局、縦は43パウンド、横、40パウンドで貼りました。Okay, so I finally, it's been strung, and in the end, I made the mains at 43 and the crosses at 40. And of course, I used this machine. If you didn't see the other video, it's the Stringway MS200. And of course, I did verify the tension is accurate with a tension gauge before I started this. So, the machine was accurate. で、このガタ張り機で貼りました。ガタ張りのビデオはね、リンクに説明のところ貼りますので、ぜひ見てください。もちろん、天地の正確かどうか確認しました。テンション調整ゲージで。で、これが正確でした。Okay, so it's time to Okay, so it's time to check the tension. On the app, the Rackettune. Okay, so let's start. Let's start with the spoon. Okay, 最後スプーンで見せて。I don't know, the spoon is not working very well. Maybe let's try something different. But anyway, about 46ね。じゃあちょっと違うものを使ってみよう。46。Okay, let's reset. Okay, so I guess it's not really moving up. The white part is supposed to be all the way, at least 3/4 of the way. Maybe let's try line this flat. Okay, can you see? Yeah, I guess you can see. Yeah. Reset. Okay. Okay, so I guess this way the microphone can pick it up better. こっちの方がね、マイクは拾えるみたいね。Okay, so it's about 40, 46, 45.9. 45.9ぐらいね。Okay. It's about the same. About the same. 45.9. Okay, 45.6, 46, 45.6. Oh. It's the same. Okay, last. The big metal wrench. Reset. Okay. Okay, so anyway, I guess in the end, it doesn't make a big difference what you use to hit it, as long as you can create a nice sound. ね、だいたいどのものを使っても叩いてもあんまり関係ない。大体の数字が変わらないんですね。And if you notice here, again, it's much higher than the setting that I made on my machine. Well, it's not much, it's a few pounds higher. Like I said, I did it with the mains at 43, the crosses at 40. And でそれでもともとね、縦43、横40。で表示された数字がだいたい46ぐらい。で、どういう意味でしょうか? Okay, so what does this mean? Well, if you look at the video of me stringing the racket, and that's why I purposely made the video of me stringing the racket, is because it's really important to see how the racket was strung. And it's really important to know, what machine you used. If it's a constant tension pull will always pick up more slack, reduce tension loss. And if you notice, the things that I did to reduce tension loss, when stringing the mains, I moved the slack from the middle to the outside. Remember, if you're watching the video, how I would push the mains here and bring the tension to the outside so that the tension head can pick up the slack. And then I used the stringway cross string guide. Okay, if you remember in the video, I used this thing. And again, that makes a big difference, because when you pull the crosses, even though I reduced the tension on the crosses, just pulling without the crosses touching the mains, it just reduces so much friction, and it just literally zero tension loss. So as a result, the computer doesn't know this, doesn't know that you used the cross string guide. It's merely calculating some formula that it knows, depending on how most people string. So if you're like me, most people don't have the cross string guide. A lot of people don't do all these tension loss prevention techniques that I use. Some people might string on a lockout machine that doesn't pick up any slack at all. So the same tension, assuming that all machines are calibrated at the same, will give you different results. And so I think what you need to take from this is that the stiffness got a lot higher. Maybe not. Maybe I strung at the same tension as the shop. The shop maybe did 42 on the mains, 42 on the crosses. I did 43 on the mains and 40 on the crosses. The average is about the same. Obviously, this is a new string job. Before we started, it was an old string job. It was used, at least over 6 months or longer. So a lot of tension loss has gone. You got to take that into effect. There's just so many factors to think about. Not just tension, but so many factors: the stringing techniques, stringing machines, type of string you use. Well, this is more or less the same string. It's the same 1.3 millimeter nylon as the old string that I cut. And you end up with this figure. And, considering that it's a new string job, and I did all these, a lot of things that many other stringers wouldn't do, such as using a string guide and picking up the slack on the mains. The result is that you do get a much higher tension, or not string tension, but a higher string bed stiffness. And there's a big difference between tension and stiffness. And so that's what you're going to have to read into this. Okay? で、それでは、なぜこの数字がこんなに高いというには、もともとテンション設定が縦が43、横が40でしたが、なんでこの46ぐらいになったというには、このアプリは直接テンションを測ってないんですね。ただ、どっちかというと、目圧の方が測っているね。で、目圧を測って、で、何か装式を使って、何か計算で、大体何パウンドぐらいで引っ張ったら、これぐらいの数字が出るんではないかっていう計算になると思います。で、今回は私、こういう特別道具、こういうクロスストリングガイドを使ったり、横型引っ張るときに縦型の摩擦がないように引っ張りました。また、縦型の時になるべくね、たるみを内側から外側までね、取るように。で、その分も、目圧が硬くなります。で、また、使っているガッタリキはコンセンテンションプールのガッタリキなので、たるみ取れます。たるみ取れないものはね、クランク式の、例えばクランク式のものとか、それがたるみ取れません。引っ張れなくなるね。設定したテンションになった場合はね。でそれは全部ね、やっぱこういうコンピューターの計算がちょっと狂っちゃうんではないかと思います。でもちろんね、使っているガッタリキはね、テンション調整ゲージでテンションを確認しましたので、それテンションが間違ってないんですね。まあ、要するに目圧が高くなりました。春前にと春後にね。でそれはよく、それは読み取ればいいかなと思います。Okay, so again, I hope you enjoyed this. And I hope that you don't confuse string tension with string bit stiffness. Sometimes they correlate with each other, sometimes they don't. Of course, in this instance, yeah, the string bit stiffness went up, so did the calculated tension that the computer thinks I used also went up. So in that case, yeah, it's very accurate. Was it accurate, completely accurate in predicting the exact tension I set on my machine to achieve this? Probably not, because it didn't know me. It didn't know my machine. It didn't know my stringing techniques. And that's really something that they should allow you to program into the app, and I don't see that. Yeah, I mean, it should take into account if you're using constant tension pool or not. It should take into account if you're taking up the slack or not on the mains. It should consider if you're using a cross-string guide or not. If so, then I think the end result would be a little bit more accurate. So that's something you got to think about. It's not the fault of the computer. It's just maybe the program, or just whoever wrote the program didn't think about it. Or I don't know. I don't know what other explanation or analysis I can give as to why the final tension is higher than what I set the machine at. But I can say that a lot of the rackets that I string for people, they often tell me that for the same tension, my stiffness is usually higher than other places. And that's a good thing, because it means that you can string it at a lower tension to achieve the same stiffness. Less stress on the racket, less stress on strings. Better for everybody. Racket and strings will last longer. Better performance. Okay? So anyway, hope you enjoyed this. Leave any comments. それでは、もしコメントとかありましたら、なんか質問とかありましたら、ご記入してください。